Hey, Sammy here. I'm not your typical job counselor. I work remote and I travel the world as I kickstart careers. This is raw, real, and on the road.
Hey, I'm Sami, and this is the Career Kickstart Show. I am beyond excited to have one of my idols, my main business girl crush, Kimra Luna, in the house. Just to let you know, taking her course literally changed my life because last January, before I started this whole digital nomad journey, I knew I needed a business. And by doing Be True Brand You, which is Kimra Luna's program, I not only got myself a business, I also, right before the graduation day for the course, I ended up leaving my job and starting my world travels, which has taken me to 3 different continents. I've increased my income every month for the last 4 months, making double what I ever made in my full-time jobs ever before. So I'm so excited to have Kimra on here because she's amazing, and I am just going to keep gushing. So Kimra, I should have you introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, so hey everyone, thanks for having me, and it's been a real pleasure having you in the Be True Brand You program, Sami. You really, actually do the work, and so you get the results, so that's the important part too. Yes, the content's good, but you put in the work, so you deserve the credit for that. So I'm a personal branding and online business strategist, and I love helping people kind of make their own career path, so to speak. I have a lot of people who, leave corporate jobs or who, are just kind of sick of their 9 to 5, even service-based type of jobs and stuff, and who really want to grow something online and make their own career, be able to travel, do the things that they really love to do. I also have a lot of people who are moms who want to be able to spend more time with their kids. So I have a pretty wide variety of clients and customers. But the main thing that kind of everything revolves around is freedom. There are people that want freedom, and there are people who really want to serve and help others and in some sort of way. So, and I've been doing that for a few years now. I think we've been, a little over 3 years. I've been running my current company. I've ran several other businesses in the past. My first company was actually a booking agency where I was booking punk bands for different venues. I was also booking their tours as well. I just kind of have always just figured out what my skill set is and made my own career out of those things. And it's fun to do. So, and I've always done it. So, I get a lot of people asking me how did you know to go into this or whatever. And I'm just everything kind of has always happened naturally for me. So, always a good progression.
Yeah, and what I like is that you're talking about how you've created your own career, which for anybody who's been in the job market, part of surviving and thriving in the post-Uber job market is being able to take all your skills and create something out of them. And it sounds like your career has changed a lot. Do you mind kind of saying kind of how you started your working life and how it's kind of evolved, because you have done a lot. I won't get into spoilers. I'll let you tell the story, but how has your career changed over the years?
It's changed definitely tremendously. When I first started, booking content, everything was MySpace and AOL email. I had my AOL email address that was my business email. And it was funny because my email address was midget mohawk girl, which was not a midget, but I didn't have a mohawk and I am little. I'm short. But anyways, that was my AOL handle. Now y'all know my dirty little secret. It just evolved over time. I really didn't know what I was even doing when I started booking concerts, and then suddenly I just had this. I was I'm just gonna start emailing all of these bands, and so I got all my CDs because we used CDs back then. So I got all my CDs before Spotify and apps on the phone and stuff. And I looked inside of there and I found all the emails to the different record companies. And I started emailing the record companies and saying hey, there's this venue in Boise, Idaho, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. People don't know. But it's Boise, Idaho. There's this venue here and they're going to let you book some gigs. would like to send your bands here? And I was just like, I don't know how much I can pay, but I'm sure I could get some people in and we can, have some good concerts. And I started doing that and was booking like legendary punk bands where I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this band even is contacting me right now, right? And so I started booking these bands and started growing like a community around like all the punk shows like in Boise, and it was a really, really great time, a really big learning experience. I had to learn about contracts and like all the legal aspects of things, and it was really funny because when I went to go do my taxes, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I made all this money, like what do I do with the taxes, right? I went and did the taxes, and the tax guy was like, oh, do you have a business license? I was like, I'm supposed to have a business license? Like, I'm like supposed to do that, like that's like, it just like happened like so fast. It just like came to me. But I was just using my natural gifts, which is like building community. And I feel like as people, we need to know what those natural gifts are. I've always been a person that I can build community and get people to like gather around something. Like even in high school, I was like the punk rock chick with the giant pink mohawk, right? But I still was able to get people to believe in things, and I became like the vice president of my school, and like I was able to like really rally people, and so I know that is like a skill set that I have. I still have that to this day, and it's like a natural ability. Then as time went on, the economy ended up crashing in 2008, 2009, and that's when I became pregnant with my first son. And I was like, well, obviously I can't keep touring with these, potheads and alcoholics. That's not really a safe baby environment, right? So I ended up becoming a stay-at-home mom. But because the economy crashed, we ended up on welfare. And during that time, I was like blogging, building Etsy stores. I mean, I was doing anything I could to even make a few dollars. Like, I didn't care what it was. Like, I was doing it to like make money. And I had a pretty successful actual spiritual-based business. Going through the pregnancies and things like that, I had a lot of healing that I had to go through. I come from a very, very traumatic childhood, and I wanted to be a good mother. So I was educating myself on all this stuff, and I dove really into spirituality. So I had a pretty successful spiritual-based business where I was teaching Reiki classes and doing angel readings and all these types of things. And I remember I checked when we did our taxes one year, I had made like $12,000 in that year doing $50 angel card readings, and I was doing that all through my Facebook page. And if I was a stay-at-home mom, like I was just like doing it from home or whatever, and I didn't even have a website, and I just was doing it straight through my personal Facebook account. And that's kind of like when things started to click. I was like, oh, like I can actually make money online. Like maybe I should, start a blog or something. And I had this vegan moms Facebook group, and I was like, I'm going to turn that into a blog. And so, finally, my husband's able to get a steady job, or able to get off of welfare. And the job was barely paying like $2,000 a month. So it wasn't like we were like making tons of money, but like we actually didn't have to be on welfare anymore, which was to me was a really big deal because I was raised on welfare, and I was like, I don't want to go back to that. And especially when I had a pretty successful booking career where I was making more money than most of my friends. I remember there'd be nights, there'd be a concert, I'd make like $6,000 in a night. I was just like, oh, there's a bunch of cash in deposit in my bank account. Like it was like I would just, boom, like money would just come, and it was so easy. Then I went back on welfare, and I was just like, I can't live my life this way. I don't want my kids to live like this. And so I tried everything there was. I read all the business books. I read all the personal development books. And, once my husband got a job, I was able to afford to get a computer. And because I didn't have a computer, like I was doing it off of just like my iPhone, so I get a computer, and that's when I decided to start blogging, and then that has led me to where I am now.
Wow.
It's all about the blogging.
Well, it's one of those really cool things is just how, fucking scrappy that you've been. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about you, and what resonated for me, was the fact that is one of the most important things that people can do in their career, is just be really scrappy and be willing to just pivot and do different things. And you were talking about how you were harnessing your natural gifts. What do you think was the greatest gift that somebody else has given you in your career, whether that is mentor time, advice, some sort of helping hand or gift that someone's given you?
I mean, I think that would be mainly just people believing in me. Because I'm a person, like I said, I grew up in a pretty traumatic lifestyle as a kid. And, I wasn't told I was smart. I was called stupid every day. Like, there was nothing there that would have built my confidence. And having other people who did believe in me is what was so helpful. Like my in-laws, they always really believed in me. I'm currently getting divorced, but, still, my in-laws they believe in me, and they're my family now. And, I think being surrounded by those people that are there to support you is so important. And I remember, like, when I first got pregnant with my first son and I started really getting into, personal development and really want to change my life, I did lose a lot of my friends because of that, which I think we have to kind of not have fear of losing our friends. I think there's chapters of our life, and there's certain people that are going to be in particular chapters of it, and they're there for a reason. And a lot of people, they cling to these friends who aren't happy for them. Like when I tell a friend a win, I want them to be celebrating just as much as I am. I want them to be like, wow, that is amazing, Kimra. Like, I'm so happy for you. Even if it's a little thing, like, oh my gosh, like, I finally published this blog post I've been working on for 2 months. Like, wow, congrats, awesome, glad you got it done. You know what I mean? Like, I want someone that feels great when I'm feeling great about something. And, a lot of my old friends, like, they weren't like that. Like, they didn't understand why I would want to, have success, and why I would want to do something, great in this world. And I hope I'm doing something great in this world. I hope I'm able to, transform people's lives and transform people's businesses and things like that. But I feel like it's just was being surrounded by people just in general who were like, wow, like, you can do it, Kimra. They're like, all right, cool, I can do it. And it helped me, it enabled me to keep going and going and going. Because in the beginning, I didn't have a lot of those people, like, I wasn't raised around people that were just, like, cheering me on, and I had to find those people who would cheer me on and who would say, like, yeah, you can do it, like, go for it, like, just get in there and do it. And, I definitely, like you said, there's a scrappiness about me. And I think that's because, I was raised in poverty, and if there was something I wanted, I had to raise the money for it, or, find means of getting it somehow, whether that was trading with people or, like, being like, hey, like, I'll mow your yard, like, can you, like, buy me this? Like, like, I just did whatever I could, even as a kid, to get the things I wanted. And now, it's more like I'm scrappy because I have children to support, and I have, team members that I have to pay, and I have all these other obligations, financial obligations and stuff as my business has grown. So I'm still scrappy in that way. I'm still like, oh, like, let's do this, let's do that. Like, let's, because I kind of just have to be scrappy now, because you gotta be scrappy to keep your business running,
Yeah, no, and that is so true. And what I've had to do that in my life in a lot of ways as well, because sometimes, not everybody can get on the bus with you. Sometimes you're taking a journey and you need to be pumped up. You can't have people who are like crabs in a barrel, especially when it's like, okay, I need to do starting a business, changing your career, doing whatever you're doing. Even if it's something like, I want to train for a marathon, you need to have people who aren't going to be, just kind of bagging on just being a bummer. That's one of the things. You can't always have folks who are just like crapping on what you're doing. And I think that's a really important point for a lot of people. I mean, that's part of what attracted me to Be True Brand New over other programs, was it was so focused on action takers, because I can be like, if it feels like nobody's actually doing a thing, like, it can be discouraging to me. And that's why I chose your program over other business programs, was I wanted to get shit done. Like, I was sick of being like miserable in Tucson. I wanted to like go forth, so I completely agree on that. And I think that's just great advice for anybody. But speaking of, more advice for folks who are maybe feeling like they're a little bit stagnant, they're kind of in a rut in their career or their life, what is another good bit of advice for them to kind of start transforming, or at least just jump kicking something so they can go forward?
Yeah, so one thing that's, I think, really, really cool that one of my friends actually did when she was in kind of like a quarter life crisis, she went around and started asking her friends, what she was skilled at and what she was good at, and asked them, hey, what would you hire me for? And it turned out she apparently was very fashionable. And so all of her friends were like, oh, I would hire you to come and style me, like you go to brunch and you just look so good, like how do you look so great like that, and so she ended up thinking about that and was like, and she ended up going to school to become like a stylist. And it's not very long to go to school. It's like a year or something, like become a stylist. So she decided to do that, became a stylist. And now she has a full-time business doing styling, and she does online and offline type of work. But she didn't really know she even had that as a skill. She was just like working like a boring corporate job, and she was just like, going nowhere with this, like she's just like, I hate this, when your job or career is sucking the life out of you, it's time for a change. And I think we just have to not be afraid of change. Sometimes there might be something in the same company you're at that might be a better position, or something that will fulfill, those things in your heart, fulfill those passions and things you have. But sometimes there isn't. And so we have to be okay with leaving, because I do believe that there are better opportunities out there. And for anybody, it doesn't matter what line of work you're in, there's always something better. There's always something that's going to fulfill you in the inside. And you don't want to be working a career where you're just like, every time you go to work, you're like, oh my God, I hate it, and I see so many people that are like that. I have friends that are like that. And I'm just like, why are you working that job? Like, I just ask them, and they're just like, oh, I need to pay the bills. I said, yeah, but you've worked there for 8 years. You have work experience. Go get another career. You know what I mean? Like, go get another job. Like, go find something else. Like, you don't need to stick in something that's making you miserable just because you need to pay the bills. Like find something that is going to fulfill you the inside. And I think when we focus on what's going to fulfill us, and we focus on just like using skills we have, like we can find anything. I know particularly like here in New York City. In New York City, everybody got a side hustle. Like, I don't know one person that has a side hustle. Even if they're working regular full-time corporate job, they always have some sort of side hustle. Like, that's just part of like being a New Yorker. I think it's like in like the DNA here. Like, I don't know. And so everybody here has like those side gigs that they do. And I really feel it's like just go for it. I was speaking to this woman at the co-working space that I'm at, and she, has like her regular corporate job, blah, blah, blah. And on the side, she does like this interior design stuff. And she's like so afraid to just jump into the interior design stuff. And I was like, why are you so afraid? I was like, you don't have kids. The only person you're supporting is your dog. You know what I mean? Like, why are you so scared? Like, I'm like, dude, I got like 3 kids, and I'm just diving into, whatever I need to dive into, because I just have to, I was like, what are you so scared of? Like, she showed me her Instagram. I'm like, you're freaking talented as hell. Like, what is going, like, why? And she couldn't even explain to me why. I was like, well, it sounds to me like you have a lot of fears, but it's okay to have those fears, because you're going to have them either way. You're going to either have the fear while you're in your crappy job, or you're going to have the fear while you're an interior designer. Who cares? You're still going to have the fear anyway. Like, we always are going to have it. So you might as well just be doing the thing you actually like to do full time. And I was like, this is New York. Everybody wants interior designers. I mean, all these very wealthy people here who are willing to hire you. You just got to go out and go after those people, And I do think it's funny, too, because there's people that are just like, oh, like they feel like they're not getting paid what they're worth and things like that. I'm just like, get higher end clients. Like find a client base that's willing to pay you. Here in New York City, you can get a haircut for $30, or you can get a haircut for $200. Like, there's people willing to pay $200 for haircuts. And guess what? Those people have clients lined up out the freaking door. They're book, for a $200 haircut, like, so you just have to find what that niche is and who you want to really serve. That's another, like, huge part of it. Like, who are you wanting to help? What types of companies are you wanting to work for? Like, what is the mission involved? Like, do you agree with the company's mission? Luckily nowadays, a lot of companies are really, it's almost like they want people working for them who are entrepreneurial minded, who do think outside the box, especially a lot of startup companies and things like that. They want people who think a little bit differently. And if you're a person listening who does think differently, if you're like at your job and you're like, oh my gosh, they could fix this, they could fix that, this could be better this way. Like if you're thinking those things in your head, then you're an entrepreneur. You know, like you have that entrepreneur brain. And you could still have a career, but utilize that entrepreneur side of yourself too, to like be like, hey, like it's okay to go to your boss and be like, I have a really great idea. Like I would love to sit down and talk with you for 15 minutes. Is that okay? You know, and sometimes they'll be completely impressed and like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know this was going on inside of you. Sometimes your boss doesn't know that you have all these skills or you have all these things inside of you or these ideas. You know, if the boss is actually a really open-minded person, like they're more likely to like, you know, be receptive to things. If their boss is just a jerk, it's not going to work no matter what. You need to go somewhere else. But you never know. And sometimes they'll create a position for you. You know, like maybe there isn't even a position that's at a certain thing, and they'll create it for you because they're like, wow, this person is innovative, and they're going to help our company move forward. So you don't have to be just freelance and be your own thing. You can still work for somebody, but be able to let those creative things and those things that are going on in your head, like start actually incorporating into their company and help their company win. Because I have a lot of friends who they're like, oh yeah, the company made a position for me because they didn't know what to categorize me as, you know, and now they're like, I'm some sort of like strategist person and I help them with all of these things, and you know, and I think there's a lot of fear around things, but it's like we just have to go for it because the worst that can happen is they say no, right? Like that's literally the worst that can happen. And then and it's not even that bad because you're not going to die if someone says no, you know, so.
You know, and I love that advice because I tell my clients, I have this freelance long-term position with a startup that I actually have managed to make bigger and bigger over time simply because I kept going to them with ideas. And for people who are listening, Kimra hires people. She is technically a boss. So when she tells you you can go to a boss, this is how bosses think, it's because she actually is a person who hires people. I talked to one of her assistants who's freaking awesome. So this is something where you don't have to think this is a pipe dream that it's only for, you know, people who make their own businesses. No, most people who employ folks, especially if you're interested in startups, you have to come with ideas because they want that. That is one of the biggest things to actually thrive in this new economy. You have to be able to think like a freelancer, think like an entrepreneur, and be really like savvy, like a little mountain goat. You got to be agile and ready to climb some stuff.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, I have people on my team where, you know, they first started off and they were just doing, you know, random kind of virtual assistant type of work, and now, you know, I have like, you know, executive systems manager, and like she like manages like all my systems. I didn't know she was great at systems when I first started working with, you know, she started working with me, and then over time I was just like, damn, you're like really good at this, you know, and she's been working for me for almost 3 years. Almost every person that's on my team has worked with me for over a year now. My personal assistant, she's been with me for 6 months, but everybody else has been well over a year. Some people 3 years, you know? So, and that was like when I first started my business, they're still working for me. And that's because they're able to be creative. They're able to, you know, I allow that creative side to come out of them. And there are bosses who are like me. I think there's some people who, like, I mean, especially because, you know, I'm a punk rocker, like, in punk rock, we're like, like, corporation, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm a corporation. Like, I literally am. Like, even on paper, like, I'm a corporation. And, you know, I'm the boss, of course, of several people. But I am a boss who wants awesome people on my team. Like, I'm not a person who's just, like, going to be like, oh, this is your crappy mundane task, and you just do that crappy mundane thing. You know, I want you to feel awesome when you work for me and feel good about it. And I want you to be learning. Like, people that love to learn, like, I have one team member, she loves learning. And so I'm always like, oh, here's a new course or program for you. Like, here's a new thing. Like, I'm paying her to learn, you know, and she like loves it. You know, she's like, oh, she like learns all these new skill sets, and you know, over time as she's learned more skills, I've given more raises, you know, and she lives in a place that's really inexpensive to live. And I mean, she basically is able to live a life of luxury because I'm able to pay her so well, but that's because she's learning the stuff. Like, I'm a boss. If you're willing to like learn and keep learning and help my company grow more, then I want to keep you around, so I'm going to pay you more. You know, so I think people think that too. Like, oh, well, if I'm moving to the position, it doesn't really have much different pay. Like, why would I even try for it? You know, and the thing is for one, ask for more. For two, you know, you never know what's in the mind of that boss. You know, like if they really want a person who's going to be like a super badass at their systems in their company, then they're willing to pay more for that. You know, to me, someone who's going to make sure every single little thing in my company is working right, like, I want to pay them well for what they do. And I'm not going to be like, you know, some sort of cheapskate boss. Because I know if I don't pay them well, then I'm not going to be able to keep them around. And even some people on my team, they've had better offers with other people, but they still stick with me. They're still loyal to me because they like working on my team. So it's not only like, oh, it's money. They also want to be able to be on a team that's cohesive and things like that. So there's a lot of benefits of working for me, but then as a business owner, like I have to see the benefits of what the employee has to offer me, especially over the long term. Because I want to keep employees for a long time, and I want them to be able to excel, you know, in my company. You know, eventually my personal assistant, you know, she could be making, you know, 6 figures. You know, depends on how big my company keeps growing, and the better she can help me grow, the better like I'm able to pay everybody, the better I'm able to keep advancing careers, the better I'm able to create new positions in the company. So, you know, people like myself, I look for employees who think outside the box and who want to help my company grow. And I treat them well. Not every boss is going to treat you well, that's for sure. But I make sure I treat my employees very well because I want them to stay around with me. You know?
Mm-hmm. And you're not unusual. There are plenty of startups and larger companies that are like that. And Kimra, you have given so much awesome value in this interview. Thank you for giving us this really cool employer side view, talking about your career, building a business, and just like really awesome just facts for people who are job seekers. You know, and I know that you're really busy because a fun fact for everybody listening, you are going to be launching another round of Be True Brand You, which since you've been listening, you already know I'm a fan. I'm already a convert. I'm part of the choir. I love to listen to more preaching from you on business, branding, and all that good stuff. So let everybody who's listening know exactly how they can connect with you, where they can find you, and what's next for Miss Kimra Luna.
Yeah, like if you want to find me, BeTrueBrandYou.com is the best place right now. That's where the doors are going to be opening very soon for the program. FreedomHackers.com is another great place. I have a lot of free trainings there. And yeah, there's going to be lots of new webinars coming up, lots of new live streams on my business page, which you can just search Freedom Hackers on Facebook. You can find my business page, you know, and main thing is, yeah, I just have, you know, the super awesome launch. We're going to be attracting a lot of amazing new students in the program, a lot of people who are in corporate or wanting to leave corporate, and we have a lot of people who, you know, have business degrees who join the program. But I mean, the program is very interesting to people it attracts. You know, I attract everybody from the corporate side to like the hippie side of things. You know, it's like I attract everybody in between. And it's a really great program, so definitely check out BeTrueBrandYou.com.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Kimra. And it's true. I actually have seen, at least in my round, where some people who are like, you know what, I've used this to get hired and to advance my career, because you learn all sorts of stuff from like social media to marketing to branding, which, and this is one thing, if you followed me for a while, I'm all about, as a professional, you need a brand. So this is a great way to get all of those skills. So thank you again, Kimra. It's been so much fun for me.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. And for all you guys listening, thanks again. I am Sami Gardner, and this is the Career Kickstart Show. Bye.
Find something cool at cool.careerkickstartacademy.com.